Callum, it is now officially almost summer, so let's go into a game where it's all snow and ice and frost and everything.
You say that like we live in a country where there is a summer.
Look, the 4 days of summer that we've had up to this point.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get straight into the story part of this, and I'll talk over it.
What is this game, Ewan?
This is Frostpunk. This is the new game from 11-Bit Studios, who are the team behind this War of Mine.
Yep.
And takes some of the things that they...
Published by Paradox, right? Because they publish games like this.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of the core not mechanics, but like the core themes of this War of Mine, into more of a city builder.
Sure.
And it's super fascinating because it kind of toes this line between being your standard city builder, along with, but like, reduces complexity in some ways and then makes other things more complex in weird ways.
Oh, it's not a Paradox game. Oh, okay, I was wrong. Sorry.
Is it not? Okay.
No, apparently not. Okay.
Sure. So this should give us... I forgot to switch subtitles on. But anyway, we'll play this for a little bit. So the kind of story behind this is there's been some kind of cataclysmic environmental event where there's now just permanent snow all the time. We start in... This is kind of what it's saying here.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, so a lot of the...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It got bad.
It goes bad real quick. The style of this game is kind of amazing, and I really hope it comes across in the video once we get into it, but the amount of like visual effects stuff they've done in here is just incredible. So like we're in London, the snow has not stopped in years, and people are now trying to figure out what they can do about this. So a group of people leave London, jump on that ship that you saw at the start, go north to try and establish...
Is that a ship?
It was a kind of like paddle steamer style steamship thing.
Okay.
To go north and try and establish some kind of new civilization, using this thing, using the generator, the kind of big chimney, big furnace. That's what they're... Thank you.
Sure.
So they're going to try and build a new
colony.
colony.
It's like a land train thing. Okay.
Yeah, and it goes in water. It's really cool. There's a very kind of like steampunky aesthetic to this, but not like full-on steampunk. Yeah, kind of. But not kind of full-on steampunk with like goggles and weird top hats. Like, it's very much like everything's fucked. We just need technology of the time to live.
Sure.
So let's actually get into this and we'll see. So this game's also...
I already like these like menus. This is really...
There's a lot of this, and you'll see what when we get into it.
Fled London across the sea is the frozen north. Okay.
On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful has managed to reach the site of the generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? So this is a scenario-based game, the same way that... I don't know if Civ still does this, where you can like have preset scenarios.
You used to be able to.
Used to be able to do that. So the kind of flow of this
Heroes
game...
of Magic 3 does that.
Yes, it does. So the main story beats of the scenario are the same the whole way through, but there's still a kind of element of randomness that's there. So we are starting...
So the first thing I saw on this UI was a discontent meter.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into this and pause immediately so we can see this. So the UI is kind of sparse to start with, but it has some depth if you want to go into some of the stuff that's here. So this is the generator. Yeah. Currently the generator is off because we don't have any coal. Okay. So this is our resources up here: coal, wood, steel, and steam cores, which I haven't a lot of use for yet, but they're like super rare and are used for like your advanced...
Well, if a steampunk game will be advanced machinery.
Also raw food and normal food rations. So, like you said, there is a discontent and a hope meter. If the discontent meter gets to max, or the hope meter gets to 0, you have, depending on the scenario and exactly what happens, a couple of days to bring the colony out of that, or you then get kicked out of the society. As a death sentence, basically. Exiled is the word I was looking for, thank you. So, this is the first scenario. This is kind of... there will still be a lot of tutorializing, and it teaches you a lot of the basics. So, the reason why I've paused here is because the couple of times I've tried this so far, if you are not quick out of the gate, you're pretty much fucked from the start.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent with games like this that I've seen. Like Crusader Kings and stuff like that was like that.
Yeah. So you can go on. So you can see like all your individual people all have names. They all have where they live.
Oh wait, they're actual like. Oh, okay, they're actually like individual people.
Yeah, everyone's got their own thing. They've got so they can say like, these are my children. Here's
Dorothy
my spouse.
Pennington.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they're doing, what their biggest concern is.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
That's their biggest
Right
concern
now.
is that everything's fine.
Wait,
that's a concern? What? Okay.
That will change quickly. Don't worry. We've also got these kind of icons that will appear along here in red are kind of prevailing issues. So currently nobody has any home, and we've got 80 people, so that's a big issue right now. But the main issue is
it's fucking cold.
It's fucking cold. It's -20. So if I click on this,
pretty fucking cold. Oh,
you get this temperature overlay. So you can see everything's this kind of turquoisey color, which is chilly, which means that people have a low risk of getting ill.
It's chilly. It's fucking -20.
It goes cold, very cold, and freezing. So freezing is small risk of requiring amputation. This gets harsh. So we need to get this generator up and running. So we need to get some coal. So to start with, there are these coal deposits around the place.
A pile of coal.
Pile of coal. So let's send some people out. So let's send workers out because we need coal pretty quickly. And we also need wood pretty quickly. So there's a wood pile. Give workers in there and then send them off. So it uses a kind of shift system for work. So you can see like this is the current time, which runs. So people, so if you look at the coal that I said, people will go from 8 till 6. That's their working hours.
Okay, sure.
They will not work outside of that. They will still build things, but they will not.
Do people have no concept of survival? Like
we will get to survival. Don't worry about it. So
they're like fucking. It's like -20 and everybody's dying of freezing, and they're like, nah, like.
We will sort this.
My clock out time. Like,
we will sort this in a second. Don't worry. So
okay.
Speed up time. So people will immediately start getting stuff, and you see we're starting to get coal and wood. So we need. So it says stockpile some coal. So start with like 200 coal is a good time to start, and we can activate the generator.
Okay.
Let's just get up to. So that's the end of the day. So they're now not going to collect any more things because it's the end of the shift.
Shifts up. Like,
yep. So every now and then these things will appear. These are just kind of events that happen throughout your city. So you
yes. Kind of is this the dynamic storytelling that I've heard?
Kind of. So this is one of the things that says like, hey, we don't have any houses. You need to do something about this. So your options for most of these type of things are usually 3, where you'll be like, I'll deal with it later, which means that discontent will go up immediately. You have like a basic requirement. So this one, you have 2 days to provide shelter for 40 people. And the kind of better one, which is you have 2 days to provide shelter for 80 people. So naturally, if you do this one, you'll get a degree of hope. But if you fail it, you'll gain discontent. You'll gain a lot of discontent if you fail this one, but you'll get more hope. So it's kind of judging
reward.
Yeah, it's kind of judging what you think you can do. So I'll just do the kind of basic one now. So it provides you a new objective down here. Provide shelter for 40 citizens. So let's start doing that. In fact, let's start doing that. So construction. Let's build some tents. So you can see that everything is built in this disc around the generator.
Okay. Like SimCity.
Kind of like SimCity. So let's build some. So we need to build 40 people to get that.
Zone housing, yeah.
Zone housing. So let's get that. So like I said,
people automatically build things.
People will automatically build things. You don't need to give them instructions for that stuff.
I fucking hope so. It's their house.
Yeah, right. And also they will build in free time as well. Catwoman faces advantage. Remember this. People look to the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree everything unless you fix the problem. It's fine.
So the things that I've heard about this game are that there are a lot of hard choices to make, and it's a lot of like you're not doing the best for everybody, but you're doing like the absolute minimum that you need to just keep going.
To survive. Totally. So like you say, so I fulfilled that thing. So it says, hey, hope rises because everyone now has some form, or a bunch of people have some form of roof above their head.
They have fucking tents.
But 40 of them are still homeless. So we'll see. I know the generator's off. We're working on it. Okay, we should probably just start.
Afraid of freezing to death.
We should probably just start.
See if you guys wouldn't fucking clock out at 6.
So we'll start the generator so you can see this, and this is a really, really cool effect. So let's start the generator at level 1, and you can see the snow starts to melt, and you can see. So you can see the hash.
So it is literally just a giant generator.
It's a giant generator. So you can see the kind of zone that's appeared right here.
The heat map again?
Yeah. So we look at the thermal overlay here, and let's just pause very quickly. So you can see that like things are still chilly around here, but you can see this is obviously comfortable. And every one of the individual buildings have their own temperature thing in here. So
building insulation. Oh god.
So things will start. So as you can see, everything is basically starts at chilly most of the time. So this shows you that you've gone up a level because this building has insulation. So it's now gone from chilly to livable. So that's why it's orange. If I get something else on top of there, it would move it up to comfortable. So let's just keep that going. So you can see there that
there you go.
So since the generators had some time to heat up, it's now pushed out the heat levels, so now these things are comfortable because they are within a heat zone and the building is insulated. Heating becomes very, very important very quickly.
I'm sure.
Because if you see, so the other thing, I'll just pause again. On this track here, this is basically your time track. So this is day 2, day 3, day 4. You can see at this point, like just in the morning of day 4, the temperature is going to drop significantly. It's going to drop 2 levels, which means that anything that is livable is then going to drop to freezing. Right. So it'll drop down. So it'll go from livable 1 to it'll go to cold. So everyone now has moderate risk of. So you know that's coming at least, and then it's going to go back up.
Try and prepare for it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to because you're never going to have time.
I mean, it's never time.
So as you can see,
is that ill people that you've got on
this is now 4 people are now sick because they don't have houses. Let's try and get some more houses in quickly. So we need, how many people are left? 40. So 30, 20, 10. There we go. So now everyone should have houses, and they will go off and start to build it.
Just wake up at 5 in the morning and build yourself a tent.
You'll also get little commentary from people here saying like, here's roughly how people are doing and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the other part of this game, which is where it gets real fucked. So it says like, hey, the number of sick is rising and we don't have enough materials to build a medical post. Perhaps a short burst of effort could help us gather the necessary resources. So remember you were saying about shifts and how people should just work because they're dying?
Yeah.
You now get to,
you
now get to sign this thing which says like, you can force workers to work in any facility for 24 hours straight, but using it will significantly raise discontent and in general, and also like it will raise itself slightly, and it will basically apply this to your civilization for a while.
So I'm looking at this,
Yep.
And I'm seeing not only emergency shifts, but I'm also seeing things like child labor.
Yep.
And fighting arenas.
Yep.
This seems fucked. What's going on?
Let's just to show you how fucked this is. The fighting arena is the only one in here that has basically zero downside. Where
Really?
the fighting arena you have to build it.
So the negative is you have built a fighting arena.
Yeah. So the negative is you have to build the building, but it will reduce discontent because people will go and slug it out. So the other thing about this is you can only sign a law.
Bad. Surely that then people beat the shit out of each other and they can't work.
But it's reducing discontent, right? Like things are bad.
Okay.
Things are bad.
Yeah, sure.
So you can also only sign a law every day and a half. So and also these choices are permanent. You cannot change these. This is like a second
that emergency shift one only applied for like a day or whatever.
So no, you can research the skill to apply it.
Oh, right.
But like you can.
So when you sign this, you then have the ability at any point to conduct.
So for instance, these ones that are split. So like the child labor one's a good example. So I have 2 options here. I can either say, okay, all children will be kept safe in child shelters. So hope will rise, and all children with a place in the shelter have a permanent hope bonus. So you'll get better hope.
Sure.
But you have to build a building. The other option is the safe jobs option, where you now can use children as base workers in the safe buildings, like the cookhouses or hothouses.
Okay.
However, that will kill hope. Hope will fall slightly, and also your children can be injured in accidents.
Excellent.
But you now have more people, which at the start of this game is super important. So
there's also a thing further down that tree that just says child labor all jobs.
Yeah.
So that's literally children going into mines.
Yep.
And
child labor all jobs. This can get bad if you need it to be. So what I want to do straight up is because I want to do this because I know what's about to happen. So this is the medical one. So my 2 options are so if people are gravely ill, basically they're going to die. They are terminally ill. But what this will do is if they were gravely ill, they will be kept alive but untreated in your medical centres, but they will take up a bed in your medical centre. But you will keep rise, but discontent will go up. They won't be treated and will remain a burden, so you still have to feed them and keep them in a bed.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the other option is radical treatment, which will means the gravely ill can be treated in medical posts. Hope will go up, but 30% of them will be left as amputees, which means they can't work.
Oh, okay.
And discontent will go up. So all of these are bad, basically.
That's bad. That's all bad.
So I'm not going to sign anything right now, but we will come back to this. So the shift's about to start, so we can start doing stuff again. So you can see, like, for the generator itself, you've got this consumption. So I am pulling in 180 coal a day, and I'm using 144. So I'm on a plus.
Stockpiling. That's good.
Yeah. But we need to get ready for this.
So on your generator, if you have various steam levels, if you increase that, does that increase like the radius that the?
Yes. So
sure.
The steam level will turn up the temperature. So rather than this increasing it by 1, it will increase it by 2. Okay. There's a separate research path, which is the range.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that'll affect the radius.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to research these separately.
What's the temperature? What's that thing in the bottom right?
Temperature overlay is just bringing this up.
Okay, sure.
This, however, is also
overdrive.
A thing.
Yeah. So overclock your fucking generator.
Basically, so everything will go up by 1 temperature level. But if I'm not going to do it because I need coal. But it will increase coal usage, and also it will start to increase the stress level meter like remarkably quickly. Which, if it hits 100%, your generator explodes.
Excellent.
And the game's over immediately.
Yeah.
Really useful for like, holy shit, it's cold. But it's not great. So I'm gonna, because I haven't achieved this thing yet, because I had to switch the generator on. I'm gonna switch the generator off so we can.
Wait, what? Why?
Because I haven't stockpiled enough coal yet, so I'm going to switch it off until people are done.
Everybody's going to get really cold, right?
Just until the end of the work schedule when they come back. There we go. So I've now got that. So I'm now gonna just quickly switch this back on, and everyone's happy again. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So now we've got heat. And
cookhouse.
Yeah. So we need to build a cookhouse. So let's come around here. So also the other.
You need hunters as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I look over here, you can see I've got 20 unemployed people. 15 engineers, so there's like 2 classes of workers. There's workers and engineers. So engineers will do higher skilled labor, basically.
Yeah, skilled labor versus unskilled labor.
Yeah, and then prohibited are
children.
People who can't work. So this will be children.
Not prohibited for long.
When you have amputees, they will appear in here as well.
Right. Okay.
When you have various other ailments that can happen, you'll get in there. But anyway, so we need a food supply.
Children can pick up coal off the ground.
Totally. I'm going to quickly build a medical post against orders, because the thing I've discovered in this game so far is that if you do not control your medical situation, it gets out of hand very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let them build that medical thing, and I'm also going to start building a hunter's hut, which is important. So I can build it out here. So you can see it's yellow out here, which means it's outside the current heat range of the generator.
Sure.
But also it doesn't need... This one also doesn't need a lot of heat to work, but also it has 2 insulation because it's a hunter's hut, so it can live just outside that area.
So it can be. It's 2 basically like resistance, like.
Well, no, it means that like it's fighting the. If I show you the overlay again, like everything in here is at this level. Then chili will be here, but it adds 2, so it makes it comfortable. If you see
right. Yeah. Sure.
So let's
additive. Right.
Yes, it is additive. So the other thing here is you have to worry about roads. So it says this isn't working because it doesn't have roads. So you need to build roads out here until it's connected, and there we go.
Okay, sure.
So you can build
the fact that on that overlay the hunter's hut is like slightly off center with the rest of the house is really annoys me.
You can't line up it.
Okay.
And also shit gets bad that you very quickly forget, like, go fuck about city planning. Yeah, it doesn't go well at all. So let's build cookhouse.
Cookhouse.
So this is
get those children jobs. Let's go.
This one is one that needs, if it falls below a certain temperature, they will stop working because it's too cold.
Right. Sure.
But we will sort that in a little bit as well. So the cookhouse. So this is the main part of this mission. So we've got basic resources. We're getting stuff.
Right.
So now we need to build a beacon and scout the outside world to try and find the people who were staying in at this generator that we found that are no longer here. Okay, we also need to put some engineers in the medical post so they can start healing people. So you can see I have 4 people being treated, so that's all good.
Cool, that's good.
This is an operative because you don't have any workers. So I'm now out of workers, right? Because everyone's being employed. So I'm going to put some workers in there for now. But we're now out of
Get
workers.
The children in.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we? So this is free time. So people are just gonna. Nobody's actually working right now, but people will build stuff. But the hunters, they work from 6 till 6. Like, so they're out working right now. So you can see they're taking 12 hours. I'll also just point out very quickly the hunter's hut. Oh no, actually it's in the economy section here. So we are currently gaining 15 raw food a day. Or we're gaining 30 food rations a day. So the cookhouse turns raw food into food rations. We're consuming 80 a day and we're generating 30 a day.
That's bad.
Right? So, and we only get 15 raw food per day per hut.
Sure.
So we are at a loss from the start, basically.
You're on the back foot.
Yes, for sure. So the next thing we need to get done is the workshop, which needs 15 wood and 15 steel. So we need to get some wood. So I will.
Plebs are needed.
Plebs are needed. So I'm going to let people. There we go. We're now working, so people are away getting stuff. So just seeing where people are currently. So there's the hunters coming back in with their food. We're getting dangerously close to the temperature drop here, and I was really hoping I'd be further ahead than I am.
I mean, you have to explain everything you're doing. Yeah. So
that coal pile's now been depleted, so I have to put these people on the next coal pile. So they will go off and get that one. And we're out of food. Oh no,
that's good.
No, we're not. We're fine. They're getting sorted.
What's the big red symbol on the cookhouse? Is that just not working?
It means that it is closed.
Oh, it's closed
because it works. Sure. It only works the normal shift times.
Sure.
So it generates food, but so we're about to get cold at the start of day 4, and you'll see how bad this gets pretty quickly. So I can probably now build. Oh no, because I'm not. Am I not collecting any wood?
You got no
wood. I am
wood.
collecting wood. Oh, that's steel. Shit. I need wood.
Been collecting that.
Nope, I need wood crates. I thought I was collecting wood crates. Apparently I'm not.
At the start you were.
Resources, coal, steel, wood management. Yeah, okay, I'm not. Okay, let's go grab some wood crates. There we go. So they need to go get some wood because we need wood to build basically everything.
But it's 11 o'clock at night.
But it's 11 o'clock at night, so nobody's going to do anything. This is about to go real badly wrong. But yeah, so what else?
Is there like an in-world reason as to why the temperature drops so much, or is
because it's fucking cold? Like, it's just the weather changes.
Okay, sure.
The weather just changes.
General weather changes.
Basically, so everything looks kind of all right so far, but this is about to go pretty badly wrong. So everyone's generally relatively happy right now. But you can now see we're now at -40. And if I bring this up,
it's all fucked.
Everything is now cold or chilly. So this is chilly, this is cold. So people working in the cookhouse are more likely to get ill now. Also, it is now too cold for this building to even work.
Okay.
Because
so you just don't cook food.
The building must be at least chilly to work. So yeah, this is not going well right now. So we need to. Yeah. Okay. We have to just let this go and deal with it because we can't do anything right here. So this is telling about the overdrive thing. So this will increase the heat but put the generator under stress. So I'll very quickly boot this just so you can see what it does. So if I overdrive, you'll see that things start to get heat again, but this starts rising pretty quickly.
The generator will explode and the game will end.
Yes, if it hits 100%, it will end. It also increases the coal consumption.
I'm sure it does, yeah.
So we're going to do this for a little bit. And this will last for 3 days, like longer than I can keep this running. So we'll just have to deal with it right now. Also, people are out working, so it's fine. And now, because it's so cold, 5 people are sick and 5 people are now gravely ill.
Oh god.
Because it's that cold.
Because it's just so fucking cold.
It's so fucking cold. So people are now...
I mean, being from Scotland, we can...
I know, this is basically what we live with.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quickly build my workshop because this is the kind of main way you get new technology, which is about to be super important. Why are people not filling the... Okay, there we go. We need workers, engineers, and we have a research tree as well. So you get different branches of research. They're in levels. You start up here, and then you have to upgrade your workshop to get the different layers. But what we want pretty much immediately is these... how do we want to do this? Heaters, probably. I think. No, we want the steam hub. We do want the steam hub. And I'll show you why we need the steam hub in a second.
Okay.
So, and also, like, they only
this
work...
game seems insane. I don't know.
Yep, totally. Also, they only work their normal shifts, so I'm not going to get any research while this is working. So you can see, like, the...
Oh god. What? Okay.
So there's the workshop's doing its working. So you can very quickly see the logic of, like, I mean, like, we're almost there. Let's just force them to work just another little bit extra.
Family torn apart.
So when we came forward after we built the workshop, she said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry.
Sure.
Okay, so that's just kind of part of the main thing, which is like, yeah, there's probably people out there.
There's people out there, yeah.
So
we need to save them.
Somebody got frostbite, so they are now gravely ill. Steam hubs, cool. Also, 2 people have died.
Okay.
Because
what's a steam hub do?
I'll show you. So lack of treatment, so we should probably build
so
actually another.
Died.
Let's just build in our medical thing very quickly. Let's put it there. So what do you want? Whenever people's died, sickness, accidents, and deadly cold will keep claiming lives. We need a way to dispose of the body. So,
oh god,
back in here.
Ditch.
So corpse disposal.
Yeah!
So we don't get any risk of disease. But
wait, no risk of disease from a corpse pile? That seems wrong.
Well, no, you get risk of disease if you just leave them in the city. But if you bury them, at least you won't get disease.
Right,
Can I also just point? So one of the things you build a cemetery, which means you get the hope rises slightly, and there's no risk of disease. But every time there's a burial, they have a ceremony, which means people stop working for a few hours. And you have to build a cemetery. I'll just point you at corpse disposal, which is like, okay, you build a snow pit, which will be cheap. There's no risk of disease. Bodies are preserved for potential future use.
And what?
I don't know, but it's terrifying, whatever that means.
Is that... Oh, I wonder if that's related to the organ transplants that's further down that list.
Or maybe cannibalism. Who knows?
Or maybe cannibalism. Well, I mean, they are in like -20 weather, so they are just in a giant freezer.
They're going to get preserved pretty easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, where are we? Yes, okay. So, let's research the next thing while we're here. We need food, so let's do this. So steam hubs let you basically expand pockets of heat in places that really need it.
Sure.
So you can see that, again, everything's chilly and the cookhouse is inoperative. Do we actually have any food for the cookhouse to... Yeah, we do. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a... Oh, I don't have any steel. Okay, so I can't...
It's all fucked you.
I'm not pulling in any steel. So you need to go out to steel wreckage, and I only have 5 workers, so that's not gonna. I'm gonna get 1 steel per hour. All of this is not good. Also, this medical post is too cold to actually do any work. So even though it comes up, nothing's gonna actually happen in there. And somebody else has died.
That's great.
This is what I mean. Like, this is now the third time I've kind of got to the point of like getting through this.
It's just escalation seems to be
totally. So it's saying now here, like, hey, we don't have a lot of hands to do all this work, so maybe we could just, like, sign in the child labour laws. I actually haven't done this yet, so let's see what happens. So I've signed a law, so children can now be employed in safe workspaces. And what is this? Like the cookhouse?
Well, it's like the cookhouse, yeah.
So children is
children!
So let's put the workers on something else. There. Put the children in there, which means that, where are my engineers right now? They are in... How many engineers do I have? 15. So there's 5 in here, 5 in here. Where's my other 5 engineers? Oh, they're out doing this. Which means I can now send children out to do that rather than the engineers. Which means
children can go just pick stuff up.
They can just go pick stuff up, right? But now the engineers are working in here. And he's not happy about this. Because now the kids have to work. What is this? Yeah, it's yeah, shit gets bad pretty quickly. Somebody else has died. Awesome. We should probably actually do something about that.
What, all the people dying? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Except I can't, because I can't sign anything else in because I need another 15 hours, so I can't actually deal with the bodies for another 15 hours. So we just have to deal.
What conversation is that where someone comes to you and is like, "Sir, we need to deal with something about these bodies." You're just like, give me like
give me 10 minutes, right? Like, we'll deal with it. That's kind of how you've had to deal with a lot of this. So I'm probably not going to get to it now because it takes a while to actually build enough stuff to get the beacon. But the beacon basically opens up the open world. I don't think I can get to it here. It's not really an open world, but like the larger map. And you basically send out scout teams into the larger world to go investigate things that you've heard about. So in this case, oh, thank God, the temperature's come back again. Awesome. We survived with only 6 people dead. Awesome, that's great. So now people can go out and do that. And we're going to start to get some steel. Also, the wood crates are now depleted. Shit. Okay. Economy. Wood crates. So actually what I can do is, and I only learned about this last night because I was messing around with it and I didn't appreciate this. So there's a lot of wood crates and some steel. So what I can do is I can build a gathering post, which means that one set of workers will gather stuff from all of these areas.
Oh yeah, right.
At once.
That's an idea from the later Settlers games. I remember that.
Gathering posts were a thing in there, but I need to kind of build a road out to it. But it now means that people assigned to this gathering post will now be able to gather a lot more stuff. Cool. We've got hunter's gear, so we're still horrifically behind on food, but
it doesn't matter so long as you make it.
But we've also got less people to feed now, so you know it's actually all fine. So that's full of people. So they're now gathering wood and steel from this one place. It's more efficient to do this rather than just send people out. People are just dying fucking left and right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Do we have enough steel to build the beacon yet? Workshop. Where are you? Oh no, I need to actually research it, I think is the thing. I think it's in beacon. Go. Yeah, so other things that are, I really hope it's coming across in the video, but this game looks really nice. Like, the screen's got this kind of level of frost, like ice round it, and when the temperature drops,
the specs on the
and when the temperature drops, like, it will freeze in slightly more as well. Like, if you zoom out, you'll start to see some of the stuff that's round there. Like, everything looks really, really nice in here, even though the subject matter is not exactly great.
No, it is very grim.
So if you want to look at, like, the technology tree will show you get...
Oh, Jesus.
There's a lot of stuff in here. So you get things like hothouses, so you can grow plants, so you don't need to rely on your hunters as much.
Ah, okay.
You get... There's your generator.
What you meant by hothouse? I was thinking like a sauna or something.
No. You can also then start researching these things, which will let you generate... so the coal thumper will just pull coal out the ground. The sawmill will actually use some of the trees that are around there. Steelwork will... you can attach the mines and stuff like that. So, like, all these resources that are just lying around will... Like, they will be depleted, like, quickly.
Yeah.
So you need to... It's kind of like what I was saying with... Like, I suppose it's kind of like a lot of these games where everything is happening all the time and you need to just stay on top of it, and it feels like you have 7 jobs to do and no one to do it with. So, yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
I'll do the beacon and then I'll very quickly... I think we'll leave it there. Oh no!
Oh God! Can you scald this child?
Hope will fall slightly if I scold him really.
Oh, he's so fucking stupid.
Or I can give him a day off. You know, because you don't have an arm anymore, but you know, holiday.
This is slightly injured. It didn't say about losing an arm.
Okay, so now I can build the beacon. Awesome. Let's just put it here because I'm not keeping this game because it's all gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just build the beacon, and you can see where this goes from here. Oh, what do you want now? I know. Working on it. Okay, fine.
Hey, dude, everybody's dead.
Let's just do corpse disposal.
Yeah.
Signed.
Corpse pile.
Which is snow pit.
Costs nothing. Yeah.
Must be placed outside of any heat zones so bodies don't rot. So let's just build it.
Get it out there. Get it
out
way
here.
Out there.
Somewhere. But I still need to build a road to it, unfortunately. Road. Okay. So the beacon has been built. So you can see it.
That's a hot air balloon. Okay.
It's a hot air balloon still attached to the ground.
Right.
Which is cool.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So once we've got that, can I skip this? Yeah. So now we get access to this. So I can zoom in and zoom straight out from here. So these are the other things that we've got. So the one marked in yellow here is like the story one here. So it's like,
sure.
This is where we think the expedition probably went, so we should probably send some people out. But there's also some other stuff up here. So it's like, here's a place where there's several vehicles and there might be some supplies here, for instance.
Right, yeah.
So if I go into the beacon, you have to create a set of scouts to go out and do these things. So
sure.
They are translated from
free workers, yeah.
Yep. And you don't get them back. They are now permanently scouts that you can't change. So that costs you more. But and then when you get there, there's a little bit of like there'll be a bit of story thing of like. So one of them I saw was like, you come across a cave and there's a bunch of bears outside the cave that are keeping these people in there. Do you want to try and attack the bears? To try and save the people, but risk losing your people, or do you want to go and save the people? You know. Yeah. So volunteers have lined up to go be scouts, but unfortunately, I don't have any free people. So.
Children be scouts.
Children can be scouts.
Send the children into the wilds.
Sorry, children cannot be scouts. But I am going to pull, just so we can do this. I have 5 unemployed people. That'll do. So let's create some scouts. And let's send them off to the expedition. So they will now head off the expedition in 10 hours. So we'll at least see one of them. So yeah, once they get there, we'll end it there. Yeah, this is kind of intense, and a lot happens, and it doesn't feel unfair. Well, it does feel unfair, but for different reasons. Like, it's not unfair because it's a badly designed game. It's unfair because everything's against you. Yeah. And you just have to fucking deal. And
it's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, the thing it pulls from the Swarve Mine as well is the like, there are no good decisions. Everything's kind of fucked in different ways. Yeah. A mother has refused to let her daughter go to work, afraid she'll get injured. We could look the other way this time, but others might see it as
burn her.
This is why you should never be put in a position of power.
Make no exceptions. Nothing will change. There you go.
Nothing will change. Okay, yeah, let's
burn
not.
Her.
So again, you can see the modifiers on some of the stuff. So like, okay, so I'll pause this. So you can say that
totalitarian state.
Yeah, we signed a controversial law, but there's a desirable decision as well in there. So hope is kind of not moving right now. Discontent, because hey, discontent will continue to rise until you dispose of this fucking corpse outside my house, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be happy about that either.
Yeah. So now they've reached the thing, so let's do an explorer. So you enter the camp, appearing out of the driving school, a choir of excited voices welcome us. Thank God you found us. We've been wandering for days until we couldn't go on any longer. Soon we'll begin to starve. Children and adults surround us, packed and ready to go. So we've now got 2 more sites we can go and see. So our options now are escort the survivors to the city, which means your scouts will take them back to the city, which means you'll get 4 children, 9 engineers, and 22 workers. Or you can send the survivors to the city, which means your scouts can go on to other things immediately. But some of the guys
might die. Yeah,
exactly. So let's just escort them back. So they are now on their way back, back to the city. And then once they get there, you now have more workers, which means a lot of things become simpler because you now have more people to work with. But you now need to feed them all. You now need to house them all.
Yeah.
All of the resources become strained. I'm enjoying this. It's taking some time to really get used to the cadence you need to get into to really make these people survive.
Sure. Yeah.
And it seems like my current tactic is to be like, people are going to die like straight off the thing and there's nothing you can do about it, so just roll with it and go. Yeah, It's
awesome.
It's a cool game,
Yeah.
and I haven't figured it out yet. Haven't figured it all out yet. So there's still some time, still some room to grow for sure.
Sure.
So they have returned to their scouts back. So they've brought. So here's everyone arriving from.
Dead bodies. What is he? Oh,
That's
okay.
resources.
Sure.
And like packs and things like that. So reunions. So families have been reunited, but there should be other settlements nearby. We will now go and look for the others. So that's this war. I was about to say that's this war of mine. This is Frostpunk. This is Frostpunk. It is on PC. It's on Steam at the minute. It's real cool. It's not for the faint-hearted, and there's a pretty sharp learning curve. But it's pretty well tutorialized. It's just a case of like once you know the basics, you're going to die a lot until you really get your head around it. I should have looked up a price, but I didn't. But I think it's 25. I think.
Yeah, it's not full.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Cal.
Nice, you.